Life sometimes come at you fast. Tragedies make your life unravel. You feel like you wanna give up and stay knocked down. Even when your heart is shattered, you still got a life to live. You still got a life to live, so don't give up. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles, so don't give up.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me again on my podcast, Beautiful Tragedy. My name is Carrie Schmidt, and if you like what you're hearing, would you please like, comment, share, and subscribe? In this episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience grieving during a pandemic and the challenges that have come along with that. If you've ever had a deep loss, you know that grieving is very hard work. It takes a lot of emotion and energy, and continuing to live after the death of your child is very difficult. Living in a pandemic is really uncharted territory for all of us since, March of 2020. And it really brings on challenges that people I don't think have experienced, at least in our lifetime. After Jackson died, I had really found some things that were helping me to get through. I just was looking for a routine and trying to have some regularity back with myself and with Ivan. I needed some sort of normalcy because absolutely everything felt abnormal. And once the pandemic hit and life as we knew it was gone, the rug was ripped out from underneath all of us. We couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do anything. And for me, that caused great pain. I admittedly was trying to avoid some of the pain that lived inside my house, and having to stare at those four walls where every single memory involving Jackson, it really felt like medieval torture. Ivan had no one to play with, and the pandemic really put a spotlight on that, and it amplified his anxiety. I could logically understand that everyone was dealing with various difficulties in their own home, but I actually felt very abandoned at that time in my grief. There was a lot of support right after Jackson died, and the support naturally falls away, but you're always hopeful that you're still being remembered. I often wish I could be more supportive of my friends when they're having hardships, but the truth is that I can't. And I, most of the time, am barely getting by myself. Anything we did before is just now more anxiety provoking. Nothing is simple anymore. You really can't just hop in the car and go. Everything has to be a lot more planned out. It's profoundly difficult to face more trauma when you're already reeling from a major trauma, and our world is experiencing a collective grief in so many ways. Part of the grief is that life is not as simple anymore, and there's a lot of division, and there's been a lot of death in our world. And just like everyone else, I've had to adjust my sails. I'm having to figure out how to get through. I often feel paralyzed with decision making. We have so much information coming at us all the time that it's very hard to decipher what's best for me and my family. And there are days I just don't want to make another decision. Some days I just zone out, and I don't feel bad about that. Staying busy was a coping mechanism for me, and it still is. I'm an active, get it done type of person. Losing my son didn't really change that, but it just changed my direction. Gathering for funerals has even been a challenge and not possible in some situations. I've had friends who've had sick children, and they could often only be the only parent there. And I've known people who have had babies and couldn't have a baby shower, or didn't feel safe having people over with a new baby. The gravity of all of it is so much, and I think it's important to acknowledge that the pandemic has made everything harder, but it's important to hold space for people who are grieving. I truly believe we're all doing the best we can. Some days are better than others, but it's important to acknowledge that we're all struggling in one way or another. So if you're just merely surviving, I see you. If you found a rhythm with all of it, I see you. If you're on the struggle bus, I see you. I am too. If you're barely hanging on, please don't give up. It's important to remember that we're all doing the best we can, and that looks different for everyone. So I really just wanted to kind of shed a little light on my own personal experience. I think it's about 20 months or 26 months or something like that since I lost Jackson, and 3/4 of that has been during a pandemic. So, it has definitely made everything harder. And I just feel like I want to acknowledge that and let somebody know if they're feeling, that they're struggling with this too, that you're not alone. And we're all just walking each other home. We're all trying to get through this, and hopefully that we can get life back to some sort of normalcy at some point. And until then, we'll just keep marching forward. So thank you.